People need to stop doing Xanax, bro. We should touch on this really quickly too. The Juice album dropped. Great album.
Yeah.
Great album. Running the fucking world right now. Third most streamed album in the first day all time. Spotify, beat only by Post Malone's album. I think it was Beer Bongs and
Pop Smoke.
Scorpion by Drake.
What?
130 million streams in the first day on that album, and nobody's even close. Nobody's even close. I mean, Juice is like 73 or something like that. But great album. Love Wishing Well, which I guess leaked already. The song with Marshmallow is great. The Halsey's, I mean, great album. But listening to it, and I was obviously never a Juice fan. It's not my age demographic, but just really fucking sad, dude. Just really, really sad to listen to someone who clearly had that level of talent.
Yeah.
I mean, just super fucking talented, incredible musically. His message was great, but it just brings me back once again to the albums that Mac was making prior to his death. And to just think to myself, like, once again, the labels, whoever it is, if your artist is starting to make music about the high potential and high likelihood that they are going to die that day because they are taking overdose amounts of pills, step the fuck in.
Yeah.
I don't care if you have to tie the artist up. They are not a way for you to harvest cash for your label. These are people. These are people. Like, something should have been done when he was saying, I used to take drugs, now the drugs take me. Like, when you start talking about that, like when you hear your artist start talking about the high likelihood of overdose or suicide by drugs or whatever it is, please fucking do something, dude. Something has to be done.
Like, I have a question for you. In that world, how many people who are like completely addicted to drugs and the drugs take them play it off like, I'm okay? No, I'm good.
Everybody.
Every single one.
Denial.
Defensive. And
oh my God. We're seeing it right now with, to bring it back up again, or we haven't talked about on the show, FaZe Rain. Norden from FaZe Clan. I mean, this has been an ongoing situation with him, and a lot of fans have asked me to get involved, and I've been involved. And I just don't talk about it, but I've been involved, for months. And it's a very similar situation. I mean, he's very vocal about his drug use. He sips lean on live. He pops handfuls of Xanax on live, and basically says, "Yo," to everybody, like, "Fuck off. I got this handled. Like, I know what I'm fucking doing. I'm not gonna fucking overdose." And so. Good news is supposedly he's doing better. Banks reported on it the other day. He's back home and everything's going great, which I'd absolutely fucking love to hear. But it's become a massive part of the culture, especially in hip hop, to use drugs, heavy amounts of both cough syrup, lean, and Xanax. And it's unfortunately, when the culture and the fans embrace it, it just stimulates it even more. And now people are making money off sipping lean. If you're not sipping lean, you're not in the zeitgeist of the rap world right now. And so it's a sick and a sad place for us to be at. But I mean, until the culture says doing drugs ain't cool anymore and stops buying that music, it's gonna keep happening. You know what I'm saying?
It's unlikely.
Just sad,
people love reckless people.
Facts.
People love that danger, that uncertainty, and the willingness to push yourself to a level that not a lot of humans are. It's cool now, and sometimes the bigger picture is not so clear for some people.
That's why.
And so living in the moment, like, I love living in the moment, but do it sparingly. Like don't forget to consider what the future could look like.
The drugs are the thing that puts a wrench in those gears. You know what I'm saying? And that's why the book has been important to me. You know what I'm saying? Because I never wanted it to be a piece of work that made people feel like, yo, this kid was reckless, this was cool. No, I want to tell you that when you do this shit, this is the fucking outcome. Yeah, this is what happens as a result.
You're reckless, right?
Yeah, like, sort of.
But you've been reckless for a long time.
Sort of.
And you're also a person that does not take drugs.
It's calculated risk.
Nice. Love that. It's my favorite slogan in the world.
It's very calculated risk. Like, I'm definitely much more reckless than the average person. I'm also much more equipped than the average person because of just the experience of being reckless since I was fucking 10, jumping off shit.
But like there are other people that are reckless. So like what would you suggest for someone who wants to continue being reckless but still have fun and maintain their sanity?
I think comes down to risk reward. That's how I usually weigh most of my decisions now. It's what's the risk on this, truthfully? Yeah. Like I'm gonna try to be as unbiased as possible. What's the reward? So we're doing a stunt. Is this gonna fuck me up? If so, worst case scenario, how long? Is it a month? I could probably do that. 2-3 months. Surgery? No, I ain't gonna do that. That's stupid. Drugs specifically, what's the reward to have fun, to stimulate your mind in a way that it hasn't before been stimulated? Maybe,
but also
again,
what's the risk?
What
drugs?
That's what I'm saying. Like, is it getting addicted? Is it throwing your life away to a substance?
Because you're talking about like in a way, like stimulating your mind and trying new things could, you know, if we're talking about psychedelic exploration, I've always been chill on this show about that. I'm not going to promote it, but at the same time, like if people are out there, you know, exploring the boundaries of this being and living on this earth, that's one thing. Sipping lean and taking Xanax is simply to mute everything that happens in your mind. That is why people do it. Coming from someone who has dealt with anxiety forever, who's prescribed 2 milligrams Xanax, has done everything, that is simply an escape from the real world. Right. That's all it is. It turns off everything. Anytime you do that, the pitfalls, the detriment that you are doing, you have no idea. I mean, just shutting off your brain completely and settling into that place of having no feeling, no emotion, and complete and utter numbness is the last stop before death. That's all it is. That's all it is. You're just taking a quick pit stop before your death. And that's the ultimate numbness. And a lot of times you see that people that fall in love with that numbness here want the next step, end up wanting the next step, which is overdosing and dying.
Well, you know I mean, how often do we see this happen with artists, man? Like artists they live in that like mental chaos and sometimes turn to substance use as a catalyst, maybe as an aid to their music. Maybe it is to feel numb, whatever it is. Like artists are historically pretty fucked up in the head. Just how that's why there's great artists. Yeah. And it's always a shame when we see someone like Juice WRLD lose the fight, I guess. Yeah. Because like you said, it's so clear when you listen to his postmortem album how fucking talented this guy was. Yeah. Happened with X too, like so much untapped potential, and it affects young people like us. Like I'll speak specifically with X. Like just something. It seems so wrong to this day. It seems so wrong. Like it affects me. It brings me extreme sadness because I have a fear now of death. Like when I was young, when I was X's age, 21, 22. I don't really care.
It's so weird how that works.
I was like, yeah, I don't give a fuck. I lived a good life. If I die, I die. Now I'm 25. I'm like, oh man, it does get better. Like it really does get better. Like I want this to last as long as I possibly can make it last. The gift of life is a precious gift that I want to cherish for as long as I can. So even now, like and Jake, who is also Jake, is fucking reckless, but he's a little older and he's a little less reckless. And I think with age, and it's subjective for each person what that age is, you start to realize, okay, my actions have consequences, and sometimes the consequences are dire.